welcome to the Parent Circle, where we have conversations on parenting. We look at the challenges we are facing and how we can maneuver them. My name is Rosbella, and I'm joined by an amazing guest, Liz, who are going to have a conversation with us on how religion, can influence secular parenting, and if secular parenting at all is the best way to move. But before they introduce themselves, I'd like you to know that today we are going to talk about secular parenting and the religious perspective of that. So let me begin with you, Reverend. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mtoto News, for giving me the chance as a church. I am Reverend Captain James Obuya, coming from ACK Anglican Church of Kenya, under Machakos Diocese. I serve in the parish of St. Thomas, Lukenya. But today we are here just to talk about the parenting and the secular parenting.
Thank you very much. Sheikh, please.
Okay, thank you once again for this opportunity. I am Imam Salim Charo, Imam at Madina Center Mosque along Magadhi Way, and also I'm the Mudir of the Madrasa Darul Islam.
Thank you so much. So I'll just kick it and we start rolling. So from the perspective of Islam, what does parenting mean and how is it understood?
First of all, parenting in Islam, number one, it's a responsibility. Just like we have a responsibility on any other thing, because looking behind our back is that when Allah created us, He gave us a responsibility to take care of the earth. And when we talk of procreation, is the responsibility that has been given to the parents to continue with with that cycle. So it's a big responsibility, and also the Prophet ﷺ also said that it's a responsibility that we are also going to be asked about in the day of judgment.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is it the same thing with Christianity?
Yeah, I think the same thing, because when God put Adam and Eve in the garden, He told them to go and multiply. So when you multiply, it was a family. And from the family, because we understand the families, father, mother, and children, that the family. So God put us in that situation that we need to take care, giving us a responsibility on how to look at the children and how to make sure that everything that we have brings in a godly way on how He wanted it to be done in the creation.
So why then is it important to have religion as the center of parenting?
Because it gives us a value. It gives us a value and integrity on how to follow up. Because when we look at the children of Israel, when they're leaving the children of Israel, they're walking, God told them. And God told Abraham.
Yes.
And He asked Abraham, because Abraham did not have any child, but he wanted to have a child. And God told him to take care of the children. So when you're being taught about the Christian values, bring up a child or a person, he'll have integrity.
Yeah.
He'll have the fear of the faith, because everything comes with the faith. And when he fears God, he'll be able to take care of every person. So as a parent, we being requested by the word of God that we need to take care. And when you look at the book of Deuteronomy, it's also clear to us. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9, where He's told us, teach a child on how to grow, how to live, have wisdom, integrity, have faith. Those are the things that we need to instill in from our child.
Okay. For those who are relying on secular parenting are saying we don't necessarily need to anchor children that there is a God somewhere, but we need to teach them the values. So can you teach values while removing God in it or religion in it?
Let's look at the religion, because we cannot separate the African tradition and the Christian life. Because before, we were all praying to God.
Yeah.
When you look at the Kikuyu community, they're saying Mumbi, the Mugumo tree. They could go to the Mugumo tree and pray.
Yeah.
When you go to the other culture, they were praying to their gods. Meaning that God was there before. So they were having some values that were able to follow.
Yeah.
And the children could walk in that journey. So that's why you just come in and saying that in a Christian way, we are not changing what was there. We are just modifying, because Jesus says, I've not come to remove the law, but to strengthen them.
Okay. I like your perspective, because you are saying we are not plucking everything out. And Jesus does not come to destroy. He comes to, modify. So values cannot be separated from God himself.
Yeah.
Do you think, Sheikh, that religion by any means, determines the values that a child, grows up with?
Yeah, definitely. And to start off by adding what Reverend has said, is that if you really want to get these values, you'll find them through religion. Because when we talk of secular, there is a lot of vacuum when it comes to morality,
Yeah, there is.
values, and integrity. And the only place where you cannot question is in the religion. This is where you cannot question.
Yeah.
This is where you cannot, you have any discussion, because it's God said, and this is what is written in the scripture, and that's it.
Okay.
So, and now by saying that that you want to raise your child anchored on a secular system, I think that would not be the reality that you'll be seeking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only that nowadays we've seen how people are trying to run away from religion, not because religion is not teaching the right values.
Yeah.
It's simply because people, they want to go and hide somewhere where they can go and argue. Because if I tell you, God will judge you, and God will judge you in the day of judgment. At least you cannot come with a lawyer that you bribe and you want, But
It
with the
is
secular,
definite.
exactly. But when we talk of religion, definitely, there's no discussion there. So the most important thing, and the most important thing for parents is to raise their children anchored on religious values. And you'll also come to understand in one thing, you'll find that like all the religions have almost similar values.
That's true.
They call for, honesty, and a lot more. So when you talk of religion, you'll see there is somewhere where we will have a meeting point, rather than what we may compare to secular. And secular is it's about choosing and picking, but again, it's not something we can say we can rely on.
Okay. I think it's interesting that you brought up the fact that religion, makes, moral values definite, because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged by God himself. Is that time?
Maybe just to echo what Sheikh is saying,
Yeah.
because parents nowadays, when you say secular, where are they getting the material from, teaching their children? When you say religion, we have the Quran, we have the Bible, where they can also get their teaching from there.
Yeah.
But when they go to the secular, because they are running away from the reality,
Okay.
they don't want to be questioned. Because when you go to mosque, Sheikh will question you, why is your child not walking this way? When you go to a church, the priest will question you. So parents are running away from being questioned and say we want to bring our children in a secular way. Which is the secular way? They don't have anything, any basis.
Anything to guide that,
To guide the children,
that kind of parenting.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. As I was saying before, there's a time I met someone and they were saying one thing they regret is not introducing their child to God, because ultimately, that warning that comes from a religious sound is more intense compared to a warning of, just a parent guiding. Because now the child will ask, so what? If I don't disobey, what next for me? But religion gives that, ultimatum. But still, I want to come back to you. We rely on the 10 Commandments heavily, but then Jesus, condensed them to two. That is, love yourself, and then love your neighbor. Do you think they are sufficient enough to help a child to become what is good for the society?
Yeah, I think when you look at the 10 Commandments, these were given by Moses. So when Moses wrote them, and that's why when he began saying that Jesus says he had not come to abolish the law, to strengthen them. When we say the first, because he normally say the sum of the law, there are only two: love your God and love your neighbor. So when he was saying love your God, it is that whatever you have, your family, with your resources, love your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your resources. When he says love your God, love your neighbor, that take care of your neighbor. You should not eat while your neighbor is sleeping hungry. You should not have a good life while your neighbor is on the street. Have that compassion. Show the way how you need to live with your neighbor in a good way. We should not, like when you look at an African, you could not see your neighbor going hungry and you are feeding. But today, when you come to the circular, everyone for himself, but God for us all. We forget about our neighbors. And when we teach the children the same about loving, we'll have integrity people. We'll not have corruption in our country. We'll not have corruption in our family. And corruption doesn't start from the top at the country or the national levels. It's from the family. If my child takes 100 shilling and goes, I don't question, he'll grow up becoming the same.
That's true.
So that's what we need to put more in our parents and our children, and we make them to understand the biblical way and even the Quran way.
Okay. Let me come back to you, Sheikh.
Yeah.
I know Muslims rely on not only the Quran, but they also rely on the hadiths.
Yes.
Are there specific, teachings that are given to guide, parenting and especially bringing a child up with value?
Yeah, there are so many in the Quran, in the Hadith. One instance, and it's also one of the best teachings to the parents, because at least most of the millennials, Gen Zs, they don't know this. We know how our parents raised us up. How harsh they were, how they would, use corporal punishment on us and so on. And in one instance, the Prophet ﷺ came and kissed his grandson. His grandson. And then there was a person seated there and he asked, "You are kissing him?" And as if he was so much surprised. And then he said, I have 10 sons and I've never kissed any of them. And then the Prophet ﷺ tells him, whoever does not show mercy will never be shown. So, because this is where you start, by showing your children that you care and you show them this kind of love and, this kind of compassion, by simply also kissing them, they'll know that there is love here. We've seen so many people growing up with a lot of hatred of their parents, how they punish them, how they raised them. They are like, mistaki kuwa kama vile wazazi wangu walikuwa na shida. So, and, but if you show them love, this is how they will grow. And to add on what Reverend was answering is that also you find that in religion, people are taught to be communal, to share with neighbors, families and so on. And you'll be surprised nowadays. Sometimes back you'll go and knock at your neighbor's house and ask them for salt or a matchbox. But nowadays, they'll even wonder, anaombaomba hapa kwani shida yake nini? So, these are some of things we've borrowed, which are not guiding us. And, we really own the Ubuntu as Africans, but it is more in the religion.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. I'm just wondering, as I'm seated here, what is it that is making parents want to go towards secular parenting? What is it that is chasing them away from, relying on religion to guide their parenting?
I think number one is, they've lacked sense of belonging. For us, it will be something that we'll be proud about when your child speaks in English.
Sure.
But you wouldn't be proud when your son speaks in Kikuyu, Kijaluo, and they're like, in fact, you'll find most Gen Zs, they don't know their mother
First
tongues.
language, yes.
So, and we've been, I don't know whether we've been fed or it's something that comes from us, where you want, everything to be seen that you are so much westernized, you've adopted that culture. And that's why you see, at some point, religion is restricting you so that you may want to be like, where these people are heading, I think they've, I don't know where they're heading. They themselves, they don't know. And then again, we are here adopting other people's culture. Yeah. Where now we find ourselves in the situation that we are in. And, simply when we lack these cultural values, the most basic is someone to have, to be able to speak your language. If you cannot speak your language,
It's
can
an
you,
identification, yes.
do you have an identity?
You don't.
You don't.
If you don't speak your first language, you've lost your identity.
Definitely. So this is where we are,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So they want to identify with the secularism. Do you agree with that?
I think maybe parents are running from responsibilities. They don't want to be questioned.
Okay.
That's the reality, because if you take your child to a mosque or to a church
Yeah.
or to madrasa, he'll come and ask you, Mom and Daddy, we have been told this. Why are you doing this? So they don't want to be questioned those questions. They're running from responsibility. They're saying the circular. And those parents are not there for their children. Because in those ages, when you're growing up, parents could be there, could ask you, have you done your homework? Have you been?
Yeah.
But today, you find a child doing his own things. Mom doesn't care, dad doesn't care. So at the end of the day, we are saying the children are the circulars.
You cannot question them.
Yeah.
You cannot ask them.
So how do you go to ask a child, have you prayed this morning? Have you prayed for your food? If the mom and dad do not pray for the food, how will you start? Because they're not there. They're running away from the responsibilities. They don't want to be questioned. They don't want to be told that at the end of the day, when you die, it will be judgment. God is going to judge you what you have done. Because if God has given this child to take care, are you taking care of the child? Because the child is not yours. You are just a caretaker government. You are just a custodian for this child who does not belong to you. It belongs to God.
Yes.
So if you don't take care of this child, God will ask you, I gave you the child. You did not take care of him. Look at the example of Anna in the Bible. He prayed God to give him a child. But he was able to take care of the child and bring it to the church.
Yes.
You, God has given the child. He has made you to have a pregnant for 9 months, given birth. You are not even able to take care of this child.
Yeah.
So those are the parents are running from the responsibility, the reality.
Okay. So for these parents, Sheikh, who are running away from this reality and who are seeking identity in secular life, what do they lose by not relying on religion?
They definitely are losing a lot. Because number one, they failed in raising, responsible children. Yeah, and that's why now the country, we are languishing in whatever we know that we are languishing in. And the other thing is that also there will be the same way I've said, and the Reverend has also mentioned, is that in the day of judgment, they'll have a very difficult judgment. Yeah. They'll have a difficult judgment. And again, they are eroding our, the values, all the values, religious and, social and everything. Yeah. They are eroding because they are not taking up the responsibility. And sometimes back, as much as people may say that we were not religious, we were religious. And Reverend started by, referring to Kikuyus, worshipping Mwene Njaga and, and so on. You go to many communities, they have a divine being. And there was a certain way of worshipping, and things, were things were in order. In fact, it was until when the colonialists came, when things, scattered apart, because everything was in order. Because at times I would ask, you would see our grandparents, they were married to over 10 wives. They had like 50 children. Yeah. And at no point you would hear they had hunger. They were, going through, languishing in poverty and stuff and so on.
Everyone was well fed.
Everyone was well fed and everything was in abundance. And then until now this person comes and tells you, no, you are not educated. And still we had skills. We would, make a lot of things. We had our own industry. And there was that trade, community or intertribal trade. Where people buying from these communities and others. So it was also a whole system that was ongoing then. Until now, we are told, okay, there are good things that came with the civilization, but at the expense of our values. Yeah. And this is what we have. We have lost.
This is what we have lost.
Yeah.
I think when you talk about the mesh that holds the community together, I think I agree with you that religion plays an important role. It doesn't matter if it is from ATR or it is from Christianity or Islam or any other religion that is guiding. And do you think we are not being merciful to these parents when we say they are the ones who are interrupting or disrupting this mesh that is holding us together by pulling away from, religion and raising their children a different way?
Sometimes, there are mistakes we may commit knowingly. And there are some mistakes we commit unknowingly.
Right.
So I think at some point they committed this unknowingly. Yeah, because this is how they were shown. You go to school, at least you can read and write.
Yeah.
And at least you are employed some clerical work, and then you are driving all over. Those times before you used to ride on a camel or a donkey.
Yeah.
And stuff. So this looks a bit lavish.
Yeah.
So by the time we come to realize, we had lost it all.
We had lost it all.
Yeah.
But I also think maybe when you look at the beginning, look at the children of Israel. When God told Moses that write these laws, teach them your children, put them on a doorstep, that they remember them. Are we doing the same to our children? Are we teaching them the value? Because if I teach my child, respect your friend, respect your neighbor, and you teach your child respect, do not steal, they'll be able to teach their children. But today, we are not teaching them. We are leaving them to the society, to the community to teach them. And when you leave the children to the society to teach them, they'll teach old manners, old values that are negative, not positive ones. So those are what is happening because we are not teaching them from the Quran and from the biblical. That's the foundation. There's no anything. That's the foundation. Okay. And that's why God created us, because he gave us a sense of humor. And he told us, go and take care of the universe. Because we are different from the animals. What nowadays we are doing as a human, we are doing what the animals are doing.
Are they better than us to some extent?
Exactly. Look at, we are killing each other. We are killing each other. The animal cannot kill another animal. We are killing. We are stealing from each other. So I think we need to go back to the basics as a parents.
I think even compared to animals, even if they do kill each other, God made us differently. Yeah. That He gave us intellect. We are able to differentiate right and wrong, good and bad, and so on. So compared to animals, at some point animals can be better than we are. And again, it's also our responsibility to make sure, because parents do affect their children on how they grow. Okay. In one of the Prophet's tradition, he says that every child is born a Muslim, with that what we call fitra, that pure faith in God. And, that's in nature. They say if you leave a child somewhere without being interfered with, and you ask them about God, they'll tell you there's God and God is in heaven. That's natural instinct in humans. So, and then the moment they are born, and they say the parents are the one who influence. So whether parents are Muslims or Christians or Jews or whichever faith they are, they are the ones who influence their children. Yeah. So, this shows how tremendous the influence of the parents is to their children.
Okay. Yeah. For parents who are still relying on religion, I mean, there's a lot of influence because we're finding so many people trying to identify with secular religion. What would you tell them? How can they find that balance?
Definitely now, and this is where now the challenge is, is that because we cannot live in isolation. No. Now we cannot say now that, because our moral values have been eroded.
We separate those who are relying on secular.
We separate them, or because these are the same people who brought us this. Yeah. So we don't, use their, there are a lot of good things that came, the technology and so on. But how do we balance between the two? Because you can have a mobile phone. Yeah. But, the content that you have, the content that you're consuming there is something that will please the Almighty God. So, and it's up to us, and it's our responsibility also to take, to balance that, to make sure we don't forget about God. Because when it comes to transactions, when I want to take something from you illegally, let me remember that there's God. Yeah. and that coin that I'm taking is what we call it's haram. Okay, you should. So with that, it's going to enable us, have those good, transaction, blessed transactions.
Okay.
Yeah, to emphasize, because we do have lots of businesses. Why are they failing? Because of corrupt people. Yeah, because people who don't fear God. Because I know with the system I can do whatever I want. Maybe I can just go scot-free.
Yeah.
But if I remember there's God, no one is going to, no one will ever run away from God's judgment.
Nobody.
So if I ever remember that there's God, I'll make sure everyone gets whatever they deserve.
Fairly.
Fairly.